Let's jump into problem 1458. We are retiring a bond early. We're going to issue a bond and pay some interest on it and then decide, you know what, I want to just pay off the debt early. And some bonds have that feature. They can, the company can retire the bond early, and this bond has that feature. So on March 31st, 2031, Mei Company issues $1 million of 3-year 6% bonds. So we are going to pay 6%. Market rate of interest is 7%. The yield to maturity is 7%. If I'm paying 6 and the market for a company like me is 7, that means we're going to issue at a discount. And sure enough, the bond quote is 97.336. That's lower than 100%. So that means we're getting less money than what we asked for. We're getting 97.336% of what we asked for. 0.97336 times $1 million means we got $973,360 cash. So let's do that first journal entry. I always like to do that. March 31st, 2031, debit cash, 973,360. Of course, we credit bonds payable. Now, if you're doing it the net way, you just credit bonds payable for 973,360. We'll do it the way where we have a separate premium or discount account. So we credit bonds payable for $1 million. And we will have a discount here. And the discount is the difference between the two. It's 26,640. And that is discount on bonds payable. Okay, so there's our opening entry. It says the bonds pay interest semi-annually, September and March. Company's fiscal year end is December 31st. Then, this is the new information here. On September 30th, after the first payment, the company calls the bonds at 102. Now, you notice we issued at 97. We call them at 102. Generally speaking, you're going to have to call them back at a higher price. To have that feature, nobody's going to buy the bond if you can call it back for less than they paid for it. So you generally have to pay a little extra to recall the bond. And that's what happens, and we retire the bonds. So it says first, prepare a bond amortization schedule for the issuance in the first period. We'll have to do that, and then we'll do the journal entries to pay the interest and retire the bond. So let's set this table up. Interest payment is, of course, based on what we promised to pay, 6%. We divide that by 2, 3%, right, semi-annual. The yield to maturity is 7%. And we divide that one by 2 also, we get 3.5. It is a discount, not a premium. And this one, you put in the face value of the bond, $1 million minus E for a discount. So the first date is the date we issued the bond, March 31st, 2031. Our discount account balance, 26,640. $1 million minus E, $1 million minus 26,640. The amount of cash we received on issuing the bond, 973,360. Then 6 months go by. On September 30th, 2031, we make an interest payment, 3% of the maturity value. 3% of $1 million is $30,000. The interest expense, 3.5% of the preceding bond carrying amount, 3.5% of 973,360. 973,360 times 0.035, 3.5%. 34068. 34068. C minus B, 34,000 minus 30,000 is 4068. E minus D, 26 minus 4, 26,640 minus 4068 is 22,572. And last, $1 million minus 22,572 is 977,428. Okay, so we're expecting, again, this discount account balance to get smaller and smaller and smaller, the bond carrying amount to get closer and closer to the face value, closer and closer to $1 million. Certainly that is happening here. We've got to do the journal entries for the issuance of the bond. That's done. The first interest payment, September 30th. And so, okay, what does that payment look like? It's just this line. So credit cash for $30,000. Debit interest expense for $34,068. And the 4068 goes to discount amortization. And you can see it was started as a debit. We want to whittle that down to 0. So we credit discount. As with the other questions, if you're doing this the net method, you just credit bonds payable here. Okay, so we've done the September 30th entry for the first payment. Now we got to get rid of the debt. Well, what does that look like? We extinguish the debt at 102. So we pay back 102% of the face value of the bonds to get rid of it. And the idea here, again, for the investor, right? We're the borrower, but for the person who lend us the money, if we want to get rid of it early, we got to almost pay a little bit of a penalty to get rid of it early, because they bought the bond. They thought they were going to get interest cash flows for 3 years. They're not, because we're paying early. Realistically, these early repayments don't kick in until after a year or two, but we're doing it early. So on September 30th, 2031, we credit cash for 102% of the face value, which is 1020000. So it's a million times 1.02, 102%. And that's what we credit cash for. We get rid of the bond payable, debit bond payable for $1 million. We get rid of the discount. Now the discount was a debit of 26,640. We credited 4068, so it's sitting at 22,572. We got to get rid of that discount, 22,572. Credit it to get rid of it. It was a debit account sitting in a debit. And then we're not balanced, right? We're off by 20 plus 22. We're off by 42,572. This thing doesn't balance. It's missing a debit. Now, when you extinguish debt, you can experience losses and gains. Not loss on sale, gain on sale, like selling an asset. It's loss on extinguishment or loss on, retirement of the debt. So I'm going to call this loss on extinguishment. Generally speaking, it's going to be a loss. And the reason is, you kind of have to overpay to get rid of the debt. Like that's they loaned you the money. They want to get those cash flows over years. You're trying to pay back early. You pay a little extra to do that. So the loss on extinguishment, let me have a little cough, is 42,572. And there we have it. I think we've done it. We've solved problem 14.5a. We issued some debt. We paid some interest, and then we extinguished the debt early. That's it for 14.5a. As always, if these videos are helping you, I hope you'll help me by hitting one of those buttons. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video. Bye-bye. The next video in our series is right up here, and if you want a supercut of all of the videos in this series, that's the one down below.